to explore opportunities for cooperation, exchange insights on shared challenges, and also highlight the potential for mutual growth. So our next session is the Diplomat session on country partnerships. We're joined by none other than Joel Adsett, Vice Consul, Australian Consulate General, Mumbai. Can we have a thunderous round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Please help me welcome Joel Adsett.
Well, good afternoon, Mumbai, and thank you very much for an incredibly warm welcome. It's fantastic to be here at this year's Global FinTech Fest, and I'm absolutely blown away by the amount of energy in the room. It's an incredible turnout. Let me just first say that Australia is incredibly pleased to be a country partner at this year's festival. It's a recognition of the dynamic and evolving relationship between our two countries, and I think that's particularly true within the fintech space itself. I'd also like to say a special welcome to the 14 Australian companies who are participating at this year's festival. These 14 companies are building innovative products and platforms right across the full fintech spectrum, from providing banking solutions to newly arrived international students to pushing the boundaries of artificial intelligence. And after getting the chance to speak to these Aussie businesses over the last couple of days in Mumbai, I know how incredibly excited they are about the opportunities that they see here for their businesses in India. And it is indeed a really exciting time. The Australia-India relationship has certainly never been stronger. Our two countries have a shared vision for a prosperous and thriving Indo-Pacific region. And the links between our people are deep and really long-standing. Our economies are also more complementary than ever. And with the entry into force late last year of the Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, or ECTA as we call it, we're now seeing the real tangible benefits for businesses and consumers in both of our countries. But of course, our economic relationship goes much deeper than just trading goods. India is one of the world's largest and most dynamic tech ecosystems. And I think just walking around the convention centre today, you can see all of the incredible activity that's happening, not just in the fintech space, but across India's technology space more generally. And Australian entrepreneurs are also some of the world's most innovative. And I think fintech is a fantastic example of how Australian and Indian companies can work together to serve a market here of almost 1 billion internet users in what will be a digital economy that will soon be worth over $1 trillion US. And with figures like that, I think it's absolutely not surprising to see why there's so much enthusiasm and interest at GFF this year. And I think that's a great point to just take a quick step back and reflect on India's remarkable technology journey. I think over the last decade, India really has completely transformed its digital economy. And I think one of the things that has really struck me about my time here in India so far has really been the depth and sophistication of its digital payment system. And at the heart of this, of course, sits UPI, which has been a real driving force in India's fintech revolution. And I think UPI, of course, has witnessed an extraordinary surge in usage, and I'm one of those users. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the stats, but I think they warrant repeating just because they are so staggering. But over 40% of the world's real-time payments occur right here in India, with 74 billion transactions last year alone. And I'm sure the 2023 figure will be much bigger than that. I mean, that's an average of 2,300 transactions just in the last second. The scale is just staggering and incredible. And I think this ecosystem, of course, continues to expand just beyond payments. And it's created a platform for banks, startups, and businesses right across the Indian economy to continue to innovate in areas like artificial intelligence, data analytics, and blockchain. And what's exciting for us is that this revolution has created immense opportunity for Australian fintech companies as well. And as Australia, I think we have so much expertise to share. Australia's strengths in blockchain, in contactless payments, in cybersecurity, and our broader regulatory frameworks, I think, position us really, really well to complement India's vast fintech ambition. And I think partnerships in this area will benefit not just consumers but businesses in both our countries as well. And I think in addition to the economic benefits, this growing partnership also really strengthens our already deep people-to-people connections. It builds on our cross-cultural understanding and creates an Australia-India fintech community that thrives on its diversity and innovation. And before I wrap up, I just want to reiterate that the Australian government is deeply committed to working with Australian fintech firms. One of our flagship programs, the Australia-India Innovation Network, is supporting Australian tech companies across India's growing ecosystem and forging stronger links with partners, customers, and investors here in India. And I think, of course, many of which are sitting right here in this room. So I think it's safe to say that the fintech landscapes in both our countries are continuing to evolve rapidly, and that's really exciting. It's great to see so much enthusiasm from Australian and Indian companies to do more together in this space. And as I said at the start, I think it's a really exciting time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adsett. Your words have truly shed light on how to strengthen ties and also build bridges between nations in order to pursue common goals. So thank you so much again. With that, ladies and gentlemen, once again, from what I see, I must tell you, we actually are at a cusp of a remarkable journey through the realms of financial evolution. And I can notice the great anticipation and enthusiasm that's present here this evening for our keynote address. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to gather a lot of insights around the rise of financial democracy in India, a fintech odyssey, and we have the august presence of our guest of honor, none other than Shri Shaktikanta Das, Governor, Reserve Bank of India. As you can see that we're also setting the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the disruptive influence of fintech continues to revolutionize financial services, driving unprecedented change and offering a glimpse into a future of seamless, inclusive, and technologically driven finance. And this evening, we're all geared up for the finale keynote address from our guest of honor that's about to begin within the next few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our guest of honor, Shri Shaktikanta Das, Governor, Reserve Bank of India. It's a matter of absolute honor to have his presence at the Global FinTech Fest 2023. May I also please invite Shri Chris Gopalakrishnan, Chair, GFF 2023, Chairman, Axelor Ventures and co-founder, Infosys, to spearhead this keynote session, along with our esteemed guest of honor, Shri Shaktikanta Das, Governor, Reserve Bank of India. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And may I please request Mr. Gopalakrishnan to spearhead this session.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see the auditorium so full. We are overwhelmed with your responses, and I must say, truly overwhelmed. And if we had got a little bit advance notice that so many of you are going to be here, we would have arranged more chairs. So let me apologize for that, actually. I see a lot of people standing. It's my privilege to welcome and introduce Sri Shaktikanta Das, Governor, Reserve Bank of India. Sri Das has been a career civil servant with over 42 years of distinguished service, primarily in the area of finance, taxation, investment, and infrastructure. He possesses a unique combination of experience in both policy formulation and implementation at the highest levels of state and central governments. He has served as Revenue Secretary and as Secretary, Economic Affairs, Government of India. In these positions, he played important roles in conceptualization and formulation of key policy in areas of economic reforms, fiscal and monetary policy, financial markets, and investment policy. He also served as the director in the Central Board of RBI, rendering advice in the areas of central banking. He was also on the Board of Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, the regulator of the capital markets. Sri Das served as India's alternate governor in the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, the New Development Bank, and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. So, broad international experience. He represented India in several international fora like IMF, G20, BRICS, and SAARC. Sri Das has also acted as India's G20 Sherpa and member 15th Finance Commission. As Reserve Bank of India, he has spearheaded a series of measures taken by the Reserve Bank to support growth and strengthen financial stability in the country. Since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, he has steered the Reserve Bank's response through several conventional and unconventional and innovative policy measures spanning monetary policy, liquidity conditions, and regulatory policies to preserve financial stability while mitigating the adverse effects of the pandemic on the economy. And one important aspect which I personally feel which makes Sri Das's term very unique is the close working with industry, the close working with startups, the encouragement for startups, the creation of Sandbox, the creation of RBI Innovation Hub, which has served as an inspiration for startups to think big and come up with things like UPI, which I think today makes us stand apart. So it's no wonder that Sri Das was recently conferred the Central Bank Governor of the Year Award by Central Banking Publication, UK. He was rated A+ by Global Finance Magazine in Central Bank Report Card 2023. And he was also conferred the Central Bank of the Year Asia Pacific 2020 Award by the London-based magazine, The Banker. So, we can be proud that he is here to address you as part of GFF 2023. And GFF is where it is today because of the strong support from Reserve Bank of India. Sir, please.
Now, this is truly amazing, seeing so many of you participating in this event. And I have been informed that this is 3 times that of last year's participation. And considering that last year was the first year when, this Global FinTech Festival was held in the physical mode here in this hall. And this time is the second year where it is being held. And it's really, truly amazing because last year, I recollect, I was here. The hall was full, but everybody was seated. But today, I find that many of you was standing, so I feel bad about it. But that is the level of enthusiasm, that is the level of participation, and that's why I say that it is truly amazing. While all of you were standing there and with I did come across some youngsters, I did speak to some of them, but I think the enthusiasm and the commitment that I see in all of you, we can safely say that we are on the cusp of a major transformation in the fintech sector, not only in India, but also in many other countries. So Mr. Chris Gopalakrishnan, other dignitaries, representatives of various fintech companies, ladies and gentlemen, and my friends from the media. Now, it gives me great pleasure to be here. Are you able to hear? It echoes this side, but I hope the voice is clear in the other side. Is it clear? There? Okay, thank you. So I'm indeed, it gives me great pleasure to be here in this Global FinTech Festival. And I would like to compliment the organizers for bringing all the stakeholders in the financial ecosystem together for this 3-day event with the aim of achieving a common goal of inclusive, resilient, and sustainable financial system. It would be obvious to state that innovation is the bedrock of fintech industry. Events such as these festivals enable sharing of knowledge and experience with peers both domestic and global, which would facilitate more innovation. By bringing regulators and fintechs together on the same platform, the festival also facilitates an understanding of the regulatory expectations by the industry, and also it gives an opportunity for the regulator to appreciate the developments which are taking place in the industry and what are the challenges which industry is facing, so that the regulators can also respond to the emerging situation and to the emerging challenges. Now, such thematic events provide the right kind of platform for nurturing a more vibrant fintech ecosystem. In my address today, I propose to touch upon changes in the financial landscape with the advent of fintechs, with particular emphasis on the role of digital public infrastructure and the role of the Reserve Bank in fostering innovation. Broadly, what I have done is that I will be highlighting 4 aspects. First, I will talk about digital public infrastructure, how it is a public good. And this is one of the themes which India is advocating, which India is piloting in the, during our presidency, India's presidency of the G20. This is there as one of the priority areas, that is digital public infrastructure. So first, I will touch upon digital public infrastructure. Second, I will touch upon some of the institutional arrangements which the Reserve Bank has developed over the years to, to contribute to more innovation and to take this sector forward. The third aspect is specific policy initiatives, including some of the current initiatives which the Reserve Bank is taking, some of which are showcased in the pavilion, which have been put up by the Reserve Bank FinTech and the payments departments. And finally, I would like to touch upon a very important aspect of customer centricity, governance, and the need for self-regulation. The landscape of traditional financial services has undergone a profound shift with the advent of fintechs. This transformation has significantly impacted delivery of financial services by making them faster, cheaper, efficient, and more accessible. The global fintech sector, which currently generates about $245 billion US dollars of annual revenue, which is merely a 2% of the global financial services revenue. It is estimated to reach $1.5 trillion annual revenue by 2030. The Indian fintech industry is projected to generate around $200 billion in revenue by the year 2030. This projection indicates that by 2030, India's fintech sector could potentially contribute to approximately 13%, 13% of global fintech industry's total revenue. These projections underscore the increasing significance of the Indian fintech sector. Technological innovation by the fintechs are the result of the interplay between three things: one, digital public infrastructure; two, institutional arrangements; and three, policy initiatives. These key elements help foster a conducive environment for nurturing creative ideas and promoting new technologies, which lead to beneficial and impactful changes in the financial services sector. Let me now elaborate on each of the three aspects. First, I would like to touch upon digital public infrastructure. Now, digital public infrastructure is commonly recognized as a technology system that promotes interoperability, openness, and inclusion to deliver vital public and private services. The defining feature of the Indian model of digitalization is the lead taken by the government and the public sector in building an infrastructure on top of which innovative products are created by the private fintech firms and startups. In fact, India has pioneered a layered approach to digital public infrastructure with the concept of the India Stack. In this respect, the impact of the JAM Trinity, that is Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and Mobile, in terms of financial inclusion, digitization of financial services, and emergence of fintech ecosystem has been extremely significant. Now, Jan Dhan accounts, Jan Dhan Yojana, all of you are familiar with it, so I don't want to elaborate on it. A copy of my address will be uploaded in the RBI website, so the numbers and the data which are there, you can, those of you who are interested may access from that. So I'm not going into too much of details of that, but just would like to mention that as per the World Bank's Global Findex Database 2021, 76% of adults worldwide had access to an account in a bank account or a regulated financial institution as compared to 51% in 2011. That means the world average, about 51% of the adult population had bank accounts. That was in 2011. And after 10 years in 2021, 51% went up to 76% of adult population. In comparison, the percentage of adults in India who had access to bank accounts was 35% in 2011, and it went up to 78% in 2021. As you would be aware, the Jan Dhan scheme launched by the government in 2014 for universalization of bank account has played a significant role in achieving this remarkable progress. So far, over 500 million Jan Dhan bank accounts, that is 50 crore Jan Dhan bank accounts, have been opened in India. Now, so far as Aadhaar is concerned, Aadhaar, which is India's biometric identity system, provides a single and portable proof of identity. As on 30th November last, that is 2022, Unique Identification Authority of India had issued 1.3 billion Aadhaar identities, that is 135 crore Aadhaar identities. The unique Aadhaar identification number allows individuals to verify their identity through authentication regardless of their location, thereby ensuring convenient access to not only financial services, but also the various kinds of financial benefits and other subsidies which the government is extending for the needy sections. Now, Aadhaar has also enabled the fintechs to offer paperless and contactless financial services, and it has enhanced customer convenience, strengthened the security of the financial transactions, and substantially mitigated the risk of identity fraud. It's a good example of how digital public infrastructure can be leveraged for achieving public policy objectives. The third aspect in the JAM Trinity, as you are aware, is mobile connectivity. Now, the mobile connectivity in India has also grown exponentially. The number of internet users through mobile phone in India has grown from about 70 million in 2014 to about 800 million in 2022. During the same period, the number of digital transactions in India grew from I'm talking about the number of transactions. Now, during the same period, that is, what I mentioned just now, that is from 2014 till 2022. Now, during this period, the number of digital transactions in account grew from 1.2 billion in 2014 to about 91 billion in 2022. Increasing affordability of mobile phones, cheap access to data, and the expansion of mobile network coverage have spurred the growth in adoption of mobile wallets, UPI, and other methods of digital payments. Now, let me also touch upon UPI, which is now very well known, which is, in fact, has emerged as an international model and a success story. But let me also mention that, I would like to compliment the entire team of NPCI and the team in the Reserve Bank for working together to take UPI forward. Now, this is one example of public-private partnership. The UPI was basically primarily an initiative taken by the Reserve Bank of India with the support of the Government of India. Initially, the initial push was provided by the Reserve Bank, backed by the government. And then thereafter, a separate company has been formed and which is owned by a number of banks. So the entire platform is a kind of a digital public infrastructure on which various private players, through their payment apps, they're riding on this public infrastructure. So the government creates the basic infrastructure. The public sector, RBI, I'm just putting it in that bracket of public sector. RBI strictly is not a public sector. But, it's a public effort to set up a platform, to set up a infrastructure on which the private sector is now developing, is offering various payment services. And NPCI itself is also coming up with new products which they are going to launch from time to time. And I am happy that about 4 products are being launched today by the NPCI. And they, in fact, would demonstrate the capability of the Indian fintech sector. Now, this has, as I mentioned, the ability to instantly transfer money between bank accounts through mobile applications has actually transformed the way people make digital transactions. The interoperability of UPI across banks has created a unified payment ecosystem. Its user-friendly interface and QR code-based payments have made it very popular. It has facilitated digital payments for small businesses and street vendors, leading to greater financial inclusion. UPI has also spurred innovation in the fintech space, leading to the growth and development of other payment systems. For instance, the volume of transactions through the Bharat Bill Payment System, that is BBPS, has grown phenomenally. Similarly, prepaid instruments, mobile wallets have also witnessed higher volumes in the recent years. The success of UPI is reflected in the sheer numbers as it has scaled up in relatively a short period of time. Often we forget that UPI was actually launched in 2016. So it's just about 7 years now. And this success is reflected in the sheer numbers, and more than 10 billion transactions for over 15 trillion rupees value were carried out in August 23. The total number is steadily rising. India's technology stack has accelerated digitalization through mobile phones and internet, identity system, data sharing rails, that is the account aggregator framework, payment rails, and universalization of bank accounts. Now let me turn my focus to the institutional arrangements which have been, put in place by the Reserve Bank over the years. Institutional arrangements are also very critical for the development of a robust financial system. They undertake various functions such as research, innovation, training, advancing technology solutions, and developing best practices in financial services. They also promote stability, transparency, and fair practices in the financial sector. The Reserve Bank's initiatives in institutional building for the fintech sector in particular include, first, number one, establishment of the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology, that is the IDRBT, which has been playing a crucial role in shaping the digital transformation of Indian banking industry. Second, creation of the National Payments Corporation of India, that is NPCI, which has emerged as a pivotal organization driving the transformation of retail digital payments in India. Third, setting up the Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services, that is IFTAS, an institution to design, deploy, and provide essential IT-related services as required by the RBI and also by the banks and other financial institutions. Fourth, setting up the Reserve Bank Information Technology Limited, that is REBIT, in 2016 to strengthen cyber resilience of the Reserve Bank and also cyber resilience of the banking sector as a whole. 5, formation of the FinTech department within RBI in 2022. And 6, establishment of the Reserve Bank Innovation Hub to promote innovation in financial services. Now, all these institutions over the years have played a very important role, and the RBI Innovation Hub, which is our latest initiative in institution building, the RBI Innovation Hub has been established by the RBI, but the entire leadership, the entire drive is left to the private sector. We have provided the initial support. We are, of course, 2 of our officers sit in the board of directors of the RBI Innovation Hub. But as a separate company, it has total autonomy, and the RBI doesn't interfere in its day-to-day affairs, but the RBI works in close coordination with the Innovation Hub. And one of the products which has been developed by the RBI Innovation Hub, that is the frictionless credit, the public tech platform for frictionless credit, that is being demonstrated in the pavilion put up by the Reserve Bank. If you have the time, please have a look at it. Let me now turn to the third area which I mentioned, that is the policy initiatives which the Reserve Bank has taken over the years. Now, timely and appropriate policy initiatives are absolutely important for growth of any sector, more so the fintech sector. The focus of our policy initiative in this regard is to promote a conducive environment for innovation and also ensure the security and stability of financial services. We have taken many such policy initiatives in the recent times. They include issuance of regulatory guidelines for emerging areas such as payment banks in 2014, regulatory framework for account aggregators in 2016, for prepaid instruments in 2017, for peer-to-peer, that is P2P lending, and P2P lending and invoice, P2P lending was in 2017, and for invoice discounting, that is through the TREDS platform in 2018, and the digital lending guidelines in 2022, on which we have made further refinements and improvement in 2023. In fact, that was one of the takeaways from last year's Global FinTech Festival, where I got a lot of inputs here. And subsequently, we had a meeting, and I personally attended that meeting with many FinTech companies about many digital lenders, about the digital lending guidelines. And that required some refinement, some fine-tuning, which we have done what is commonly understood as FLDG. That also we have enabled with suitable safeguards in consultation with the industry. It was not a unilateral decision. It was done in consultation with the digital lenders. Now, the regulatory sandbox framework was also announced in August 2019. That is again a recent initiative, and this was done to foster responsible innovation and promote efficiencies in financial services. The 4 cohorts of retail payments, cross-border payments, MSME lending, and prevention of financial frauds, together with the neutral 5th cohort, which is currently, which is in operation now, reflect our commitment to promote innovation in the fintech space. Drawing upon the learnings from the first cohort of the regulatory sandbox, the Reserve Bank has put in place a framework for facilitating small value digital payments in offline mode, which should give a push to digital transactions in areas with poor or weak internet or telecom connectivity. Further, the RBI is now conducting hackathons to promote innovation. Our first hackathon, Harbinger, was conducted in 2021 under the broad theme, Small Digital Payments. The second edition of our global hackathon, Harbinger 23, has also been launched with the theme, Inclusive Digital Services. Some of the current initiatives which the Reserve Bank has taken are basically the launching of the pilot project on CBDCs, both in the wholesale and in the retail mode. And a lot has been spoken about CBDCs, so I am not going into the details, but just want to say that initially the pilot for wholesale was launched to settle secondary market transactions in government securities, and now we are planning to test some more use cases going forward. The retail pilot for CBDCs was launched again in December last year, and it covers person-to-person as well as person-to-merchant transactions. The pilot is testing the robustness of the entire process of digital rupee creation, distribution, and retail usage in real time. The pilot is currently being operated through 13 banks, through 13 banks across 26 cities of the country. Around 1.46 million users and 0.31 million merchants are currently part of the pilot as on 31st August this year. Needless to say, as the next generation currency system, CBDC needs to be introduced in a very, very non-disruptive manner. Therefore, we are following a strategy of calibrated and phased implementation. Recently, we have enabled full interoperability of CBDC with the UPI QR code, and we are also targeting 1 million CBDC transactions per day by December this year. This will give us enough data points to study various design choices, use cases, and also behavioral pattern. Now, the other initiative which we have taken recently, which is actually currently in operation, is the public tech platform for frictionless credit. Now, here again, the initiative is being taken by the Reserve Bank because it involves coordination with a lot of agencies. It involves, so far as agricultural loans are concerned, it involves coordination with various state governments because the land records, they are digitized and that is done by the state governments. So you need access to the land records of the states, and a private entity on its own will not be able to navigate that entire labyrinth. So it is Reserve Bank which can handle that aspect. So therefore, we are able to discuss, and it is done by the Reserve Bank Innovation Hub and RBI together. So with RBI's participation, the land record data, the digitized land record data of the states are being onboarded to this platform. Similarly, we need data from multiple sources, including some amount of satellite data also about field conditions so far as agriculture is concerned. Now, all that, if it's an initiative, if RBI's day-to-day involvement is there, then naturally things move fast. But broadly, the idea is eventually we want to make it an open architecture. It will be open platform. We will gradually withdraw and hand it over to a private company like RBI did in the case of NPCI. And it will be an open architecture on which any bank or NBFC can onboard and take part and continue with their lending activities. Now and this public tech platform, incidentally, I had mentioned about it in the last last GFF in September 2022. I had mentioned about commencement of pilots on end-to-end digitalization of small-ticket agricultural loans known as the Kisan Credit Card loans, that is the KCC loans, in a few states, and our efforts to develop a platform to provide frictionless credit. Now, the pilot is now a reality. The pilot for KCC loans was launched in September 22 in select districts of 2 states. And the pilot has enabled successful disbursal of agricultural loans of up to 1.6 lakh per borrower and without the requirement of any collateral. And this entire process is completed within a matter of few minutes. What is important is that for an agricultural loan, just imagine a farmer has to go to the bank branch. Earlier, he had to go, even now they go to the bank branch at least on an average 5 times. And multiple data he has to submit, and the whole process takes quite a bit of time. It's a challenge for the banks to get all the data. It's also a challenge for the farmer to collect all the information that the bank requires. And in the process, a lot of time is lost. And on an average, about a month or 6 weeks is taken for this entire process. Now, through the KCC, this platform which we have developed, the entire loan gets sanctioned in a matter of minutes. In fact, in less than 10 minutes. And I'm saying less than 10 minutes. I'm saying less than 10 minutes, providing some cushion, because sometimes the system also buffers because of internet connectivity, etc. But 10 minutes is the maximum. So therefore, the system is working well. The experience has been very encouraging in the pilot. Similarly, we have launched this public tech platform now. And within a few minutes, these loans are collected and these loans are sanctioned. The KCC pilot has now been extended to many other states. A total of 7 banks are now part of the digital KCC pilot. Now, we have now, as I mentioned, moved beyond these KCC loans, and currently, as I mentioned, data required for credit appraisal exists in separate systems of different entities like central and state governments, technology and fintech companies, banks, service providers like credit information companies, digital identity authorities, etc. Accessing customer data available with multiple data sources is a challenge for both banks, as it would require multiple integration with each information provider. It's also a challenge for the borrower. To enable frictionless credit, we have launched this pilot on 17th of August, that was last month, through a public tech platform. And the platform enables seamless flow of digital information from all the above sources to lenders, obviating the need for multiple integrations. Now let me come to the final part of what I wanted to say, and that focuses on customer centricity, governance, and self-regulation. You see, as a regulator, it is our responsibility to maintain financial stability of the system. It is our responsibility to also see that there is customer centricity in every lending, whether it is by the conventional loan by a bank or by an NBFC or by fintech, not just lending, but any other kind of financial service which is provided and which falls in the regulator's domain. It's our responsibility to highlight on issues like customer centricity, governance, and self-regulation. I would like to touch upon certain key issues which are critical for the fintech ecosystem in particular to be stable and future ready. In this context, three critical issues, customer centricity, governance, and self-regulation, merit attention. Now, I would urge and I would like to impress upon all the players in the fintech sector not to see these aspects as impediments, not to see these things as difficulties or creating barriers in your growth of business. I feel, as a regulator, we feel, and I'm sure most of you will agree, these are the things, if you do successfully, in our view, it will ensure the long-term sustainability and the long-term success of your product or your business model. In the dynamic and ever-evolving world of business, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of revenue, bottom lines, and the relentless drive for valuations. Sometimes it is forgotten that the success of any enterprise is intrinsically tied to the satisfaction and trust of its customers. This is the first critical issue which I wish to highlight. We must remember what Steve Jobs once said. I quote, "You have got to start with the customer experience and work backwards." I repeat, you have got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. To focus on, unquote, to focus on customers means embracing a customer-centric approach to innovation by understanding the needs of customers, making provisions that protect customer interests and earn their trust. This calls for developing an organizational culture in which continuous feedback mechanisms are embedded in the business strategy. Designing solutions that safely and efficiently meet customer needs would not only elicit trust of customers, it would also meet business objectives in a sustainable manner. This can be achieved through simplified user interfaces and quick customer grievance redress mechanisms. Avoiding customer harassment is essential to achieving long-term customer trust. In this context, I would like to further add that digital innovations at times have also led to cyber risk and data security related issues. Illustratively, mushrooming of illegal loan apps, many of which had their origin in foreign jurisdictions, have led to serious concerns about the breach of data privacy, unethical business conduct, levying of exorbitant interest rates, and harsh recovery practices. This highlights the urgent need to ensure that innovations are accompanied by prudential safeguards and responsible conduct. It is also imperative that regulated entities operate within the perimeter set by the licensing conditions and only undertake activities which are permitted under the regulations. The second critical aspect which I would like to highlight is the important role of governance in fintechs. By providing clear governance structures, fintechs can demonstrate their commitment to transparency, accountability, and responsible decision making. In fact, effective governance in fintechs require a collaborative effort involving regulators, industry associations, and the fintech community itself. Regulators play a critical role in addressing arbitrage, ensuring compliance with existing laws, and adapting regulations to technological advancements. Industry associations can facilitate development of best practices. They must proactively adopt high standards of governance. A robust governance structure encompasses clear delineation of roles and responsibilities, transparent decision-making processes, accountability mechanisms, and stakeholder engagement. Good governance must focus on ensuring effective oversight, ethical conduct, and risk management. Ultimately, it's good governance which should be key to durable and long-term success of any company, and in particular the fintechs also. The third critical issue I would like to stress is the need to establish an effective self-regulatory structure, and this is very important. And this is absolutely necessary for the fintechs, for the fintech players themselves. Fintech players need to evolve industry best practices, privacy and data protection norms in sync with the law of the land, set standards to avoid mis-selling, promote ethical business practices, transparency of pricing, etc. I would like to use this opportunity to urge and encourage the fintechs to establish a self-regulatory organization or a SRO themselves. From Reserve Bank, we are willing to engage with you. In fact, we have self-regulatory organizations, what is called SROs, in other sectors also, where part of the regulation, part of the industry practices, part of the guidelines is managed by the SRO itself, which is a body of the industry players themselves. So I take this opportunity to make an appeal and to urge the fintech industry also to come forward and discuss with the Reserve Bank for formation of SROs that will lead to two things. One, it will give you an opportunity to voice your requirements more frequently to the SRO, which is your organization. I mean, it's an organization to be created by you. The other advantage is that all the aspects of regulation will not be burdened on the Reserve Bank. There are aspects of regulation which the SRO can handle. So therefore, I would like to use this opportunity to make an appeal to all of you to come forward and discuss the possible structure of a self-regulatory organization with the Reserve Bank of India and take it forward. And I do hope next year when we meet here in the 2024 edition, and I'm sure the organizers will announce the dates for next year's event very shortly or very quickly. Next year when we meet, I would like to see an SRO to have either been actually formed or about to be formed, or we can probably launch the SRO next year in this event. In today's world, 1 year is a long period of time. So I am saying next year as the outer limit, but I think there is possibility if we work together, we can do this even faster. Let me now conclude. Technological innovation has unprecedented potential to make finance more inclusive, competitive, and robust. It is crucial that technological advancements in the world of fintech evolve in a responsible manner and are truly beneficial to the people at large. It's therefore vital for these innovations to be scalable and interoperable. Fintech players should themselves ensure responsible digital innovations. The Reserve Bank, on its part, will continue to drive the necessary regulatory and other policy measures to promote a vibrant and responsive fintech ecosystem. The Indian economy is growing rapidly, and with it, the demand for financial services is also growing rapidly. The coming years hold immense promise, and innovators across the world should explore these opportunities. I firmly believe that the Global FinTech Festival will emerge as a key global platform to unlock the full potential of the FinTech ecosystem, not only in India, but in other countries also. My best wishes to you all for the success of this Global FinTech Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. The Governor has agreed to take a few questions, and what I suggest is one question from here, that's my right side, one from the middle, and one from the left. And there are people with microphones, so stand up, identify yourself. Very brief question. Of course, ideally relevant to Governor's speech. So first, from here, anybody? Okay, there's a lady at the back. It's good we get a question from a lady.
Good evening, sir. This is Ekta from Z Business. सर मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है, आपने फ्रिक्शनलेस क्रेडिट प्लेटफॉर्म का पायलट लॉन्च किया है. ये समझना चाहेंगे कि ये एक छोटे व्यापारी को जिसकी क्रेडिट स्कोर लो है, वो एग्री में काम नहीं करता या डेयरी में काम नहीं करता, तो किस तरह से उसको एक फ्रिक्शनलेस क्रेडिट प्लेटफॉर्म से लोन मिलेगा, कितनी जल्दी मिलेगा, और ये प्रोजेक्ट हम कब तक इम्प्लीमेंट होता देख रहे हैं आम जनता के लिए?
मेरा आपसे अनुरोध है, मेरे जो फ्रेंड्स आए हैं मीडिया वर्ल्ड से, आपके साथ हम मिलते रहते हैं. इस फोरम में अगर फिनटेक साइड से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए तो बेहतर होगा.
तो सर हमसे मिलते रहते हैं लेकिन मौका बहुत कम मिलता है सर, एक ऐसी इंटरेक्शन का, ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म पर.
लेकिन आपने पूछा है, इसीलिए मैं आपको ज़रूर आपके प्रश्न का जवाब दूंगा. देखिए, ये पायलट है. आप जो प्रॉब्लम कह रहे हैं, पायलट का पर्पज़ है एग्जैक्टली दिस. क्या क्या कठिनाइयाँ हैं, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस है, कौन से सेक्टर हम कवर कर पा रहे हैं, कौन से सेक्टर कवर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, जो सेक्टर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं उसको कैसे कवर किया जाएगा. उसमें दो तरह के चैलेंजेस होते हैं. एक तो होते हैं टेक्नोलॉजी चैलेंजेस और दूसरा होता है प्रोसीजरल चैलेंजेस एंड जो रेगुलेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स कंप्लायंस. सो पायलट का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, पायलट का जो मकसद है वो वही है. इसीलिए अभी पायलट हमने शुरू किया है. आगे जाके बेस्ड ऑन एक्सपीरियंस हम सिस्टम को फाइन ट्यून करते जाएंगे और कोशिश एफर्ट ये रहेगा कि सारे सेक्टर को ये कवर करे और जितने कठिनाइयाँ हमारे सामने आता है उसको कैसा सुलझा जाए उसके ऊपर हम ज़रूर ध्यान देंगे.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. थैंक यू सर.
I think it's on.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Sachin Deshpande. I am representing FinTech. We are actually identified certain use cases in agri and fisheries area, which is the priority areas, and we would like to work closely with RBI Innovation Hub. So how we can probably collaborate so that it can the practical aspects of it is been implemented while certain things are.
You see, the RBI Innovation Hub, I am happy to say Mr. Chris Gopalakrishnan is the chairman of the board of directors. Rajesh Bansal is also around. He is the CEO of the RBI Innovation Hub. You send a mail to them. In fact, one of the objectives of the RBI Innovation Hub is also to interact with the industry, interact with the academia, and sort of work together with the industry players, with new innovators, with the academia to develop new products. So I would request you, you get in touch with the RBI Innovation Hub. It's in Bangalore, but you can send a mail to them, and I'm sure they will respond, and they will sort of work with you. If you have any difficulty in locating them, they'll be there in the Reserve Bank Pavilion. Their officials are there. and you can get in touch with them.
I visited their booth yesterday, and it's a good, what you call that.
So they will work with you. I can assure you, I can Bansal, Rajesh must be here somewhere. He is there. So they will work with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
So one question from this side, probably the last question. Okay, please.
Hi. So we are a New Delhi-based think tank.
Where are you?
So this side.
Okay.
Sorry. So we are a New Delhi-based think tank, and we are currently working on...
Where are you? I can't see. Where are you? Acha, yes, yes.
So we are conducting research primarily on climate finance, and I was interested if you could give a general remark on how RBI can assist the Indian fintech industry in mainstreaming green finances in India so that we can move forward with achievement of our NDCs.
You see, first I would like to encourage you to have a look at our report on, there's a report which we bring out every year called Report on Currency and Finance, RCF. This year's report, the entire focus is on climate finance. And we have also formed a separate climate cell, not a department. There is a climate cell in the Reserve Bank. So if, as a research organization, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, you please give it to us. We will certainly take that into consideration and see how it can be taken forward.
Okay. Last question here. Last question. Hello. Hello. Sir, where?
Hello. Yeah, good evening, sir. I'm a recent graduate from IIM Lucknow. So my question is, like seeing forward all these startups and the fintechs coming up, and we see that the digital penetration of the payments is close to 80%. And going forward, do you see that these physical cards will become extinct? And if yes, then how is this transition is going to be handled for the underserved communities?
You're talking about digital cards.
Physical cards, like
the physical cards.
Yeah.
You see, every sector of the payment space today is making innovations. You start, start in the conventional way. The banks typically, earlier the operations of the banks were in the branches. In the physical branch, you had to go to the bank, open a bank account, and then, you have to give a loan application and all that. But the way technology has evolved, the banks have also adopted technology. Every bank today is doing a lot of digital lending. Every bank is investing technology. So that is how that is how the institutions need to respond to emerging challenges coming from technology. Now these are emerging challenges in the sense that they are big opportunities and they need to be capitalized. So if you do not capture that opportunity, you will be left behind, and I am happy to say that the banks in India are embracing technology and moving forward. So why I am giving this example is that you are saying the physical cards, because UPI today is enabling some of the products being launched today. You will see that gradually maybe the need for a physical card may not be there as much as it is today. But then every sector of the payment space or fintech has to innovate, has to reinvent itself. So you cannot write off any segment of the entire fintech ecosystem. And what is required is the card industry also needs to innovate. And I'm sure they will innovate to stay relevant. So card industry I'm mentioning because you asked a question relating to that. So similarly, whether it is banks, whether it is NBFCs, whether it is digital lenders, or it is other kinds of payment systems, or the card, the card networks, every segment of the fintech space, the way technology is growing, I think everybody has to be very alert, agile, constantly reinvent themselves and stay in, to remain in competition, you have to think several steps ahead. And that is how the world will evolve. And today, sitting here, let me give the example of UPI. In 2016, I was in the government in the finance ministry when this UPI was launched. Nobody that time imagined it will reach where it has reached today. So this is how technology is evolving. This is how, the world is changing. So just to repeat what I have said, any segment of, particularly in the fintech arena, any segment of it to remain in business, to remain in competition, has to be very alert in technology and has to constantly, reinvent its technology, reinvent its business model. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, on behalf of all of you, I want to thank Governor Sri Shaktikant Das for this part of his interaction with you. Now I'm going to hand it over to Dilip for the next part of the event right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I request our Honorable Governor of RBI to please remain on stage. Well, I'd like to thank Mr. Gopal Krishnan for spearheading the session. We will now be moving forward to the next segment, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the product launch by NPCI, and I'm sure all of us are eagerly looking forward to it. Thank you, Mr. Gopal Krishnan. While I request our Honorable Governor of RBI, Shri Shaktikanta Das, to please remain on stage. We are setting the stage, ladies and gentlemen, for the product launches that we're all eagerly looking forward to. And what an opportune day it is. With the Janmashtami, it's also the birth of new ideas. Let me go ahead and please invite our dignitaries, Shri Bishwa Mohan Mahapatra, Chairman, National Payments, Non-Executive Chairman of National Payments Corporation of India, and Shri Nandan Nilekani, Co-Founder and Non-Executive Chairman, Infosys Limited, to please come on stage. May I request our friends from the media to please take your seats? Because I believe I can see a collective explosion of enthusiasm over here, of all the people who've been standing for so long. I want to thank you so much for your energy and for your participation. And let's also have a round of applause to welcome all our amazing dignitaries, all the leaders of our industry, right here under one roof. With that, let's take that enthusiasm forward, and may I please humbly request Shri Bishwa Mohan Mahapatra, Non-Executive Chairman, National Payments Corporation of India, to please deliver the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time.
A very warm evening and namaskar to all of you present and those present online. Today, on behalf of the NPCI Group, I have the great honor and privilege to welcome our chief guest, the Honorable Governor of RBI, Sri Shaktikanta Das, to this event to launch some of the innovative and useful products of NPCI Group. I am also honored to welcome Padma Bhushan, the unstoppable Sri Nandan Nilekani, the architect of Aadhaar, I borrowed the term unstoppable from the newspaper articles that is coming nowadays. You must be seeing in Economic Times. Sir. And the architect of Aadhaar and the co-founder and chairman of Infosys, and most importantly, the honorary advisor to NPCI on innovation and public policy. I also extend a very warm welcome to Sri Vasudevan, Executive Director, RBI, to the CGM, Mr. Bansal, and other team from RBI. I also extend a warm welcome to the government officials, the MDs and CEOs of banks, the participants from fintech industry, the startups, payment aggregators, and financial institutions, and the press, and several other distinguished dignitaries and colleagues who have gathered here today at this event. You may be aware NPCI's flagship product, of which UPI is probably the most known to everybody. It has grown at the fastest pace than any real-time payment system globally, with monthly transactions volume of over 10 billion and value over 15 lakhs in the month of August this year. We have the ambition and we are confident that the initiative that will be launched today by the Honorable Governor of RBI, it will help us to reach our goal of processing 100 billion transactions a month. If you remember last year when I stood here to welcome Governor and Sri Nandan Nilekani, I said our ambition at that time was 1 billion transactions a day. That means 30 billion transactions a month. We have revised our target. Now we are saying 100 billion transactions a month. The innovative and useful features of NPCI products that will be launched today by the Honorable Governor are: 1, credit line on UPI; 2, Hello UPI, that's a conversational payment of UPI; Bill Pay Connect, the bills that you pay, we have devised a product, Bill Pay Connect; and last but not the least, UPI Tap and Pay and UPI Lite X. Last year, in this festival, we introduced UPI Lite. Now we'll be introducing UPI Lite X. As you are aware, digital payment advocacy in our country is championed by key figures, including the Honorable Prime Minister. If you see in every speech of Prime Minister on digital, he will definitely mention UPI and sometimes RuPay. The Honorable Finance Minister and Honorable Information and Technology Minister and the Honorable Governor of RBI, which reflects their commitment to develop a digital payment system for a less cash society. The new features that will be launched today by the Governor, you'll see that Honorable Governor, while announcing his monetary policies, he also announces developmental and regulatory policies, and the products that will launch today were announced by him as early as August, not even a month ago. And sir, we are on our toes, and we are very happy to inform you that we'll be able to fulfill your diktat, your order to us in the shortest possible time. I also wish to acknowledge the pivotal role played by our advisor, Sri Nandan Nilekani, whose unstoppable advice and support have been instrumental in shaping the innovative payment system designed by NPCI Group, including the internationally acclaimed UPI. So today, the products that will be launched will definitely revolutionize the digital payment ecosystem and extend the reach of a digital payment to many new users across India and abroad, and we expect next 300 million new users to come into the UPI fold. I don't want to go into the details of the products which will be demonstrated to you, and Governor had some flavor. I saw him on the corridors. He was looking into those products, and it will be launched in his August hands. So I don't want to go into those products. I once again welcome Governor Sri Satyakanta Das. our advisor, Sri Nandan Nilekani. I also welcome the bench, MDs and CEOs, the fintech industry participants, the startups, and all of you here who have made time to make our launch function a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Sri Mahapatra, for filling us up with all the inspiration and all the enthusiasm. On that note, to present the special address, it is only befitting that I now invite the unstoppable Sri Nandan Nilekani, co-founder and non-executive chairman, Infosys Limited. Ladies and gentlemen.
Governor Das, Mr. Mahapatra, guests, it's really great to be here. But this session is not about speeches. This session is about seeing the extraordinary technology built by NPCI, and we're going to see these demonstrations. And I think we all agree that NPCI is a crown jewel of India's technology sector. And in fact, NPCI, the structure of NPCI, which was set up by the RBI in 2008 as a non-profit company for payments, has definitely, I think, far exceeded the expectations of all the people who created NPCI. And it set the stage for what we call as national information utilities. And then using NPCI as a template, now we have many other bodies of similar structure, whether it's the GSTN for taxes, whether it is Digiyatra Foundation for the Digiyatra app, whether it's ONDC, all these other tech companies that we have set up in India on a non-profit basis to create the digital public infrastructure were all essentially based on the NPCI model. And that's what we hope that they will also be able to add value to everything. What we're seeing today in India actually is a transformation that is amazing. We're going from an offline, informal, low productivity economy to an online, formal, high productivity economy. As millions of people join society, they get digital IDs, they get bank accounts, they get mobile connections, they use their digital capital to get access to credit, they build businesses. And we are going to see, therefore, over the next 20 years, a huge formalization of India, where everybody joins the formal system. And I think it's going to be an amazing phenomenon that is going to happen. And it's all, of course, been possible because of the digital public infrastructure which we have. But actually, three things have come together. Digital public infrastructure like Aadhaar, UPI, and so on. But also the amazing infrastructure of entrepreneurs who are here today. I see so many of the people who have set up amazing companies. And just to give you one statistic, in 2016, there were 1,000 startups in India. In 2023, there are 100,000 startups in India. So it's not 10% a year growth, it's 10x growth in the number of startups. And I get to meet a lot of the young people, and they're all amazingly competent, ambitious, and have mind-blowing ideas. So I think this extraordinary crucible we have in India of great leadership at the political, at the Reserve Bank level to allow innovation, the digital public infrastructure which we have enabled, this massive energy of young entrepreneurs which we see here, and of course the technology density we have of people, the fact that we have millions of people with deep tech talent. I think this extraordinary crucible is now coming together. And I think we're just seeing the beginnings. I really believe the journey is only very much halfway on the way. And I think the next 10 years are going to be even more exciting. So I won't take any more time. Let's see the demos. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, on that exciting note, that's right, we're about to head towards the launch, the demo itself. We have with us none other than Shri Kunal Kalavatia, Chief of Products, NPCI. Let's have an exciting round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you, Governor, sir. Thank you to RBI for creating such a vibrant, powerful payment system and energizing it from time to time, sir. This really is phenomenal. Thank you, GFF, for getting so many of us again in this room together. Thank you to the banks, fintechs, the payment players for really lighting up the pathways of Digital India. Thank you to NPCI. Thank you for the hard work, the collaboration with the ecosystem. While we are the most influential company around the globe, but I think, let me put it this way, we are also the best place to work for the country. Thank you for that one. Like sir said, last month we did, sir, billion transactions worth 15 lakh crores. It's earned so much of credit for us and the country. I think it's also time to take this same credit back to the citizens back. So bringing to you, when you talk about credit, there are 3 Ds which never seem to be meeting like a triangle. Deals, dates, and dreams. When the sale comes up, it's actually 10 days before the salary period. And it ends just 1 day before the salary period. So you have a great deal, but you don't have money in the bank account. You need to renovate your house, but you also need to spend for the laptop that you want to give your child for the education. Every day, there are dreams and dilemmas that we are chasing. ट्रेन पकड़ते हैं भीड़ में धक्के खाने के लिए, लेकिन 2 व्हीलर की शानदार सवारी भी कर सकते हैं. This has to change. This has to change. अब इंडिया नहीं रुकेगा क्योंकि क्रेडिट लाइन ऑन यूपीआई पे यूपीआई चलेगा. For the demo of each of the products and the transactions, I'll request my colleague Rahul Solanki. Rahul, you there? We'll be screencasting the phone and we'll be taking you through the demos one by one. So we start with the BHIM app. What you're seeing is the new version of the BHIM app. Very soon will be available to all citizens. It's on the extreme left and right corners. Rahul is not happy, opened the BHIM app. He's already connected his credit line. So, yeah. He's already connected his credit line. Now I think he's opening up the scan and pay. And he's going to be selecting the QR of a merchant. Thanks to Chroma for being ready on the credit line. He enters the amount. Buy something good, Rahul. It's your birthday today. You have to pay back, but go ahead. Select the ICICI Bank credit line, Rahul. Thanks, Bijit, for this. He's entering the PIN, so therefore the screen is blacking out. The transaction. Thank you, BHIM app, and thank you, ICICI Bank, for this. The next is the PayZapp app. Rahul. He's opening the scan, scanning the QR of Chroma. Yeah, it's coming up, I think. Yeah. Pick up the, I think once you scanned and it comes up, pick up the SBI Bank credit line here. Yeah. No worries, we'll go back again. PayZapp, open the screen, scan the Chroma QR. Enter the amount. Increase the stakes, Rahul. Put up a higher amount. Yeah. SBI credit line, please. Thank you, State Bank of India, for this. I think the confirmation screen just takes a few seconds to come up. Thank you, PayZapp. Thank you, SBI Bank. The next Paytm app. Open the scan QR. Scan the Chroma QR. Enter the amount, a higher amount further, Rahul. I think the screen is getting blocked when it's entering the amount, but you can see that. I think the next confirmation screen will pick up. We go for HDFC Bank here. He's entering the PIN. And the transaction is processing. And it's processing, and it's done. The last one for all this excitement, I think for the first time we are seeing so many apps and banks going live on the day of launch. Thanks to the effort. GPay app, Rahul. Open the scan QR. Scan the Chroma QR here. And go for the Axis Bank credit line, Rahul. And a further higher amount. Thank you, Axis Bank, for this. Thank you, GPay, for this. He's entering the PIN. The screen takes a few seconds. Fair. Rahul, go ahead. I hope you're buying some good stuff. I think meanwhile, while Rahul's screen comes up, I think what you can see on the middle screen is very clearly the transaction flow. Open the app, select the amount, select the credit line, enter the PIN, and the successful chain, and the 1,000 rupees transactions completed. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you for the lovely demonstrations, and happy birthday to you once again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, PNB, and SBI for being ready for the launch. With the Bheem app team, Shiva, GPay, Paytm, and PayZapp. Thank you very much. While we are on this, I think it's time for the conversation to take another turn. Conversations are so natural, sir. Everybody wants to talk. Even a young child, a newborn, wants to talk. She wants to talk with her eyes. Very clearly, she can communicate. Conversations are important to foster deeper relationships. It's important because conversations can change the mood. Friends who really fought just a few seconds back, with a short conversation, some coffee, and some fun, can really burst out into a laughter. Conversations can be small, conversations can be big. Conversations is our daily dose which keeps up and makes us human. If you add a bit of technology to it, conversations can become powerful. What we're presenting here is a bit of conversation, but I will request for everybody sitting here and standing to practice some few steps on the conversations, and I'll need help here. You just have to say and repeat the words that I say after me, yeah? And we will add some bit of technology and some bit of magic after this. Hello, Governor, sir. Hello, Nandan, sir. Hello, Mahapatra, sir. Hello, GFF. Hello, India. Hello, UPI. बात करो, UPI करो, हेलो UPI. हाथ में मेहंदी लगी हो तो बात करो, UPI करो, हेलो UPI. कुछ काम कर रहे हो और आपके हाथ रुके हुए हो तो बात करो, UPI करो, हेलो UPI. Requesting Hemit to help me. Hemit? Yeah, fair. I think I was imagining you there. Thanks, Hemit. We're going to do a transaction. We're going to be using a Bheem app. Yeah. We're going to make a pay to contact. Yeah. Go ahead, Hemit. He's opening the screen. He's clicking on the mic button.
राहुल को 300 रुपये भेजने हैं.
Everybody is wanting to pay Rahul today. So you can pick up from Rahul Bajaj, Rahul Chari, there's Rahul Solanki. We will pay Rahul Solanki. Sorry, Rahul.
आप राहुल एच सोलंकी को 300 रुपए भेज रहे हैं. आप राहुल एच सोलंकी को 300 रुपए भेज रहे हैं.
Yeah, just take it higher.
Yeah.
You can take it higher. Closer to the mic.
Yeah.
आप राहुल एच सोलंकी को 300 रुपए भेज रहे हैं.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No worries. I think while he's making a payment, I think Rahul has got a lot of money today. Rahul, you have to clear your transaction inbox first. And you have to pay back this. Yeah, start again. No worries.
राहुल को 300 रुपये भेजने हैं.
एक से अधिक संपर्क मिले. कृपया विशिष्ट का चयन करें.
No worries.
आप राहुल एच सोलंकी को 300 रुपए भेज रहे हैं.
We're using the BHIM app. We're using ICICI Bank account there.
आप राहुल एच सोलंकी को 300 रुपए भेज रहे हैं.
No worries. I think we'll go to the phone. I think while Himit sets this back, and I think if somebody can help Himit on this, meanwhile, I think we do a feature phone transaction.
Yeah.
We're going to be using the IDFC Ultra Cash number, 123Pay, and the ICICI Bank account there.
मैं आपकी किस प्रकार मदद कर सकती हूँ?
जय प्रसाद को 900 रुपये भेजने हैं.
जय प्रसाद हेगड़े को 900 रुपए ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं. कृपया अपने ICICI बैंक का UPI पिन दर्ज करें. ट्रांजैक्शन सफल रहा.
It's successful.
So it's Jay's day for getting the money. Jay, congratulations. You'll have to return this back. This AI model works on some 5 pillars, and let me simplify this for you. It works on something which is called acoustics, which means it understands the difference between the silence and the sound. That's model number 1. It understands the language. भाषा समझता है, आप हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं या इंग्लिश में बोल रहे हैं, it captures that. There is a model within this which understands ITN, inverse text to number. When you say ZERO, SEVEN, it understands you're calling for 007 and the bond will be here. It understands the intent. It's a binary intent. It's not like humans. Yes means a yes. For the machine, the last in the model is text to speech. APPLE means Apple, and it can convert text to speech there. That's the model. Thanks, Himit and Jay. Congratulations. Aditi and Rizwan, if so many conversations are going to happen, who's going to pay the bill for all this? Who's going to pay?
Of course, we are going to pay with Bharat Bill Pay Connect.
While having a conversation?
Of course, conversations pay bill. See? Hey Alexa, pay my electricity bill.
Okay.
Alexa, is the bill paid?
Your bill payment is done. This transaction was powered by Bharat Bill Pay.
See?
But that's an easy problem to solve. What if I tell you everybody doesn't have an access to an Alexa device?
So what? Most people have smartphones, and we have a solution for that. Let's chat and do an electricity bill payment.
Well, that's interesting. I have my WhatsApp open.
Yes. Go to the Bill Connect nationalized number. Say hi. Select your category.
Is it?
Select the biller.
Just give me a second. I need.
Oh, you
him
need
to
the
show it
cameraman
as
for
well.
that.
Yep. So I'm on the Bill Pay Connect WhatsApp channel. I'm now clicking on Fetch.
Select your category. Select the biller. Of course, you live in which state?
Yeah.
I'm sure our transactions are faster than you.
Sorry, give me a second to copy.
So meanwhile, BillPay Connect is a nationalized number held by Bharat BillPay, which is making everyone's life easy and convenient to be able to pay bills through chat, through IVR, and any mode requested by the customer. And while Rizwan fetches the bill, let's see what happens. Do you get the customer details?
I'll be getting the summary of the bill back onto the chat.
Yes.
There's the summary of the bill. And now I can select my favorite payments app to make the payment.
Yes, please.
I've selected the app. I hope I have sufficient balance in my account. And it was that simple.
See? Easy and simple.
I'm still not happy. What about people who don't have a smartphone?
Well, we have a solution for that too. Call on the BillPay Connect nationalized number, listen to the IVR flow, and make a bill payment by the mode of your choice.
Now that's inclusivity. But dare I ask, is there another way of paying your bill?
Of course, because you talk of inclusivity, walk into your nearest merchant outlet, pay the bill by your favorite payment mode, and listen to the confirmation on Soundbox.
पेटीएम पर भारत बिल पे के द्वारा 1200 रुपए का बिजली बिल भुगतान प्राप्त हुआ है.
That's nice. So Kunal, I think we've paid the bill this time around. What's the conversation you're going to use to pay your next bill?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aditya and Rizwan. I think every time we pay the bills, we're going to be calling you Bharat Bill Pay. Make some payments. Let's make the conversations a bit more lighter. Let's tap a bit. Let's relax a bit there. I think what we've done in the last 7 years with UPI is build a lot of convenience. Just by scanning a simple QR, you can make a payment. Right? Networks have become so crucial to us, so central to us. We can't imagine our lives without networks. I'm just wondering what happens when you don't have a network. While we've landed up on the moon, we still don't have networks at some places, right? And transactions need to go through. So how do you do it? There are a lot of places where we go, basements, high rises, in flight. There's a lot of connect to be done between the India and the Bharat. People having the smartphone or people carrying the feature phone. How do you really bring them together? If you don't have the network, still UPI payments will go through. Network nahi milega, to bhi UPI chalega. UPI Litex. There is a tap-and-pay version, and there is a complete offline version. I'll call my colleague Pranay to help us with the demo. First, we'll go through the tap-and-pay experience. Pranay is going to be opening up an app showing 5 use cases. We're going to be taking it one by one. The first one is an app interacting with a smart QR with an NFC chip, making a payment with the Soundbox. Then we're going to be taking the second use case as we move along. The first use case, he's opened up the app, tapped on the tap button, scanned the QR and made the payment. It is faster than I can narrate it to you. It reaches far faster than that. And this is on a Beam iOS device. So Android, we already had this technology. It's working on iOS also. Thanks, Pranay. We go to the next one. Now with the Beam app, we're going to be making a payment to a Bharat Pay QR, which is with smart NFC embedded in it. The cost of this NFC is possibly less than a vada pav. Yeah, go ahead. You're building expectations, Pranay. Yeah, I think go ahead. Now it's the smartphone sending money to a feature phone consumer. There is a UPI tag with NFC stuck to the back of the feature phone. Yeah, Pranay, go ahead. Open the Beam app, tap on the, yeah. He's entering an amount there. He's tapping it on the device. Go ahead. He's taken a higher amount, therefore he has to enter a PIN, and the transaction goes through. So we've seen all the three scenarios of an app making a payment, a Beam iOS app making a payment to a smart QR with an NFC embedded in it with a sound box, a smart QR with NFC without a sound box, payment from the Beam iOS app to a feature phone. Now we're going to do really when the networks really go down and the networks are off. So both of you will have to switch. Nishant and Pranav, you'll have to switch off the networks on your phone and prove that first. It's in flight mode. Okay. Both the phones are in flight mode. The network's not there. Now they're going to be transferring money between two phones. Yes. We are doing first the PhonePe and Paytm app. He's entering the amount. He's clicking behind it. And the transaction is successful. We're doing the last transaction. Now this is on the Beam app on both sides. Yes, Pranay. He's opened up the app. He's put the money, the PIN required for all transactions beyond 500. Tap on the device. And the transaction is successful. That was the demonstration for UPI LiteX with Tap and Pay and an offline feature with an NFC chip embedded with fractional of a cost, less than the auto rickshaw ride for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Kunal. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, while we have witnessed the product launches, I'd also like to invite the key dignitaries who have associated as our key partners for these product launches for a group photograph with all of you. So if I could please invite, first up, for the credit line on UPI, if I could please invite Shri Challa Srinivas Resetti of SBI, Shri K. Satyanarayan Raju, Canara Bank, Shri Rakesh Jha of ICICI, Shri Parag Rao, HDFC, Shri Amrish Kenge, Google Pay, and Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm. Let me please invite you all to come on stage for a group photograph with our dignitaries. We will be inviting the key dignitaries for a group photograph across all the product launches, across all the launches that we have witnessed. They've been key partners in this, and we'd like to invite them on stage, please. What we've all witnessed this evening is absolutely revolutionary, and you've all been part of this revolution. Well, up next, I'd also like to invite the dignitaries who are our key partners for the product launch of Hello UPI. So if I could also please invite our dignitaries on the stage, one after the other, after we're done with this group photograph. Let me please invite Shri Vaidyanathan V of IDFC Bank. Shri Vaidyanathan V, we have with us none other than the Managing Director of IDFC First Bank. May I also please invite Shri Atul Kumar Goyal of PNB. Shri K. Satyanarayan Raju of Canara Bank. Shri N. Kamakodi of City Union Bank, Shri Anubrata Biswas, Airtel Payments Bank, Shri Parag Rao, HDFC, Shri Ashwini Kumar, UCO Bank, Shri Murali Ramakrishnan, South Indian Bank, Mr. Kumar Abhishek of Tone Tag, Mr. Vishal Lal, Ultra Cash, and Mr. Amitabh Nag of Bhashini. So let's have you all as well on stage. With this, I'd now like to invite our dignitaries who are also key partners for the Bill Pay Connect. So if I could please invite on stage Sameer Nigam, PhonePe, Mahendra Nerukar of Amazon, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm, Sandhya Devnathan from Meta, and R. Subramanya Kumar, RBL. I know we're making this really quick, but I'd like to please invite the dignitaries as the key partners for Bill Pay Connect: Sameer Nigam of PhonePe, Mahendra Nerukar of Amazon, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm, Sandhya Devnathan, Meta, and R. Subramanya Kumar, RBL. And if I could also please invite Mitesh of Miss Call Pay. Let's have a group photograph, really quick. I'll request our dignitaries to hold on. And finally, it's time to invite our dignitaries who have been the key partners for UPI Tap and Pay and LiteX. So once again, if I could please invite Shri Challa Srinivasul Setti of SBI, Shri Parag Rao, HDFC, Shri Subrat Mohanty, Axis, so if I could please invite the dignitaries once again, who were the key partners for UPI, Tap and Pay and LiteX. Shri C.S. Setti, SBI, Shri Parag Rao, HDFC, Shri Subrat Mohanty of Axis Bank, Shri Milind Nagnur of Kotak Bank, Shri K. Satyanarayana Raju, Canara Bank, Shri Atul Kumar Goyal, PNB, Shri Joydeep Datta Roy of Bank of Baroda. May I also please invite Shri Rajneesh Karnatak, Bank of India, Srimati Shalini Warrior, Federal Bank, Srimati A. Mani Mekhalai of Union Bank of India, Srimati Aarti Patil, Saraswat Bank, Shri Ashwini Kumar, UCO Bank, Shri S. Krishnan, Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank, Shri Govind Singh, Utkarsh SFB, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm, and Sameer Nigam, PhonePe. Can we have a loud round of applause? There have been massive amount of collaboration that we have witnessed. Nothing short of magic this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We promised you the movers and shakers of the fintech industry. Here they are, all of them coming together, collaborating on ideas that can truly, truly shape the India's growth story. Ladies and gentlemen. And it's not over until it's over. I'd like to please invite on stage none other than Praveena Rai, COO NPCI, to please come on stage and propose the vote of thanks. While I thank our dignitaries, I request Shri Nandan Nilekani, Shri Shri Mahapotra, as well as our governor to kindly remain on stage. I'm going to request our dignitaries to please take your seats while I invite Praveena Rai, the COO NPCI, to please propose the vote of thanks.
So I think we're just wrapping up, folks. Just patience for some more time. Another 5 minutes, we'll be done. So we are just going to formally do our thank you before we close the event. Thank you very much. That was very exhilarating. And as we recognized from the photographs that we saw, really the first and foremost, the big thank you is to the banks, the strong financial institutions who really drive and run the entire industry, the regulated commercial and payments, small finance banks, cooperative banks. So everyone is a participant here. And without their strive and focus on innovation, this really will not happen. And then we have the fintech partners who focus on user experience, agility, and are always there to drive this agenda further. The technology service providers need to be mentioned because they are really the workhorses who are getting everything done in the back end. We've had a phenomenal partnership here with the AI for Bharat Labs at IIT Madras as part of the Bhashni program. So the language models were developed with that partnership. So we're really pleased about that. Big thank you to the NPCI teams. I think they've been working at this for a long time. So it's been many days of, I think, sleepless nights to get here. And nothing of our innovation really comes to light without the stewardship of the Reserve Bank of India. So Shri Vasudevan sir and his team were part of guiding this journey in its very early days. And now Shri Gunveer Singh and the DPSS team really are at the forefront of whatever we have done here. Thank you so much for that, sir. And now, of course, thank you, Dilip Asbe, CEO of NPCI, so whose vision really drives most of this forward. And of course, I should say the most important we have here, Shri Mahapatra, our chairman. His focus, his guidance, his rigor to innovate, keep strong governance, and ensure we are executing to everything really keeps us on our toes. So last year, for example, we had done, RuPay credit card on UPI. We've had some really good run on that. And this year, credit on UPI is going to challenge what we did last year. We had 123 Pay, and this year the conversation payment with Hello UPI is going to challenge what we did last year. We had UPI Lite, and now UPI Lite X with offline is going to challenge what we did last year. So thank you so much for that, sir. Shri Nandan Nilekani, who's certainly the visionary, who's driving the whole story and keeps us inspired with the digital payment infrastructure, of which UPI was an early harbinger. Thank you so much for everything, sir. And Shri Satyakanta Das, Governor of Reserve Bank, he has given his time, his stewardship towards everything that we do, and we are so proud that his monetary policy announcements include what we do from the innovation space. His address and his engagement with the entire community really keeps us inspired to do more. And I believe that the whole industry here is available to live up to this promise. So thank you so very much for being here and taking us through this.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as we call it a wrap to the day 2 of the Global FinTech Fest, thank you so much for being part of this amazing evening. And with that, congratulations indeed to all of us for witnessing magic and witnessing history, if I may put it that way. We're going to look forward to seeing you for the day 3 of the Global FinTech Fest tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great, great evening ahead. Thank you so much.
23
by the fintechs are together
of our revenues. I am
by establishing our responsibility.
Sandbox.
Fintech products, improved financial technology and fintech companies.
operational, also more choice, product, the
words have
footprint.
The theme of this session envisions a global
text to play. I was in through it because I don't think that, after 10 years, there would be any single family in this country who would be saying that I don't know what tech is, right? Yeah.
So, moving on, Sanjay, talking about technology, and, we are in a global fintech, forum, and a lot of fintechs here in the audience. How do you look at fintechs? Because fintechs are trying to innovate, come up with technology solutions. So do you look at them as your competitors who are also trying to do business, or, can